The draconian ambassador shifted uncomfortably in the reinforced chair, his scales shimmering under the dim lights of the diplomatic restaurant aboard Station Olympus. Commander Vexter had negotiated treaties across 17 star systems, crushed rebellions with a mere flex of his gravitational manipulation abilities, and stared down entire fleets without flinching. Yet something felt wrong tonight. Eva wiped down the synthetic marble counter, her movements practiced and deliberate. She'd been working at the celestial plate for 3 months now, long enough to recognize when someone was walking into danger. Her brown eyes tracked the draconian's every move as she filled water glasses and took orders from the various alien dignitaries scattered throughout the establishment. Parker sat at the bar, nursing a whiskey that cost more than most colonists made in a week. To anyone watching, he was just another human trader killing time between cargo runs. But Eva knew better. She'd recognized the micro-movements, the way his eyes cataloged exits, the slight bulge under his jacket that suggested military-grade hardware. The draconian ambassador represented the most powerful species in the known galaxy. His people had conquered worlds before humanity had even discovered fire. They bent gravity itself to their will, could survive in the vacuum of space, and lived for centuries. Humans, by comparison, were newcomers barely 200 years since first contact, and still considered primitive by most galactic standards. But humans had something else, something the other species hadn't quite figured out yet. Yet Eva approached the ambassador's table with a tray of Andromedan wine, her heart pounding. She'd spotted it 10 minutes ago, the nearly invisible shimmer in the air around his chair, the quantum distortion field that most species couldn't even perceive. But human eyes, adapted for pattern recognition and threat assessment over millions of years of evolution, caught what others missed. She set down the wine glass and, in one smooth motion, slipped a napkin beneath it. Printed on the cloth in simple block letters, "You're in a trap. Don't move." Vex's reptilian eyes flickered to the note, then to Ava's face. She maintained perfect composure, the bland expression of a service worker who delivered thousands of drinks to thousands of customers. But her pupils dilated slightly, a human fear response, and the ambassador caught it. He'd studied humans, knew they communicated volumes through micro-expressions. This wasn't a prank. "Is there a problem with my order?" Vexter rumbled, his voice like grinding tectonic plates. "Not at all, sir," Eva replied smoothly, "though our chef wanted me to mention that the Tau Ceti salmon is particularly fresh today. Perhaps after your current course?" Her eyes darted left for just a fraction of a second. Vexter followed the glance and saw that Parker at the bar had moved. His posture changed. No longer relaxed, but coiled. "The salmon sounds delightful," Vexter said carefully, playing along. "Tell me, how is it prepared?" Eva launched into an elaborate description of cooking techniques, her hands moving expressively as she spoke. But her fingers formed shapes human military sign language. Parker caught every signal from across the room. Quantum mine. Pressure sensitive. Movement triggers. 3 hostiles. Northeast corner. Armed. Parker's jaw tightened. A quantum mine wouldn't just kill Vexter. It would create a localized singularity that would tear a hole in the station hull. Thousands dead. And it would look like the Draconians had done it themselves, sparking a war that would consume half the galaxy. He caught Ava's eye and gave the slightest nod. She'd done her part. Now it was his turn. "Excuse me, miss?" Parker called out, his voice carrying that particular human accent Texas. Vexter's cultural database supplied, that other species found oddly charming. "Could you settle a bet for me?" Eva turned, and Parker saw the fear buried deep behind her professional mask. This woman was terrified, but functioning anyway. Another human trait the galaxy underestimated, the ability to act despite being afraid. "Of course." "Sir," she said. My friend here says quantum stabilization fields can't be disrupted by a simple E-ing pulse. Parker continued, pulling a small device from his pocket. But I say the old Earth tech still has some tricks. The 3 Krendari assassins in the northeast corner stiffened. They knew what was coming, but couldn't react without revealing themselves. Parker pressed the button. The restaurant plunged into darkness as every electrical system shorted out. In that same instant, Vexter felt his massive body grabbed by deceptively strong human hands, Ava on one side, Parker appearing from nowhere on the other. They pulled him sideways with desperate strength, toppling him out of his chair. The quantum mine activated in the now empty space, but without a target to lock onto, it collapsed in on itself. A brief flash of impossible light, a sound like reality tearing, and then nothing. Emergency systems kicked in, bathing everything in red. The Krendari assassins were already moving, drawing weapons. But Parker was faster. His pistol crude chemical propellant technology that every other species had abandoned millennia ago barked 3 times. In the confusion and the dark, where advanced targeting systems struggled, human instinct and training prevailed. 3 shots. 3 bodies. Station security poured in moments later, but it was already over. Vexter pulled himself to his feet, his massive frame trembling slightly, not from fear, but from the realization of how close he'd come to death. "How did you know?" he asked Ava, who was breathing hard, adrenaline still flooding her system. "Your wine glass," she said. The distortion field created ripples in the liquid. My brain just noticed. Pattern recognition. Parker holstered his weapon. And humans talk to each other. We see something wrong, we act. No committees, no protocols. We just move. Vexter looked at these 2 humans, a waitress and a trader, neither of them soldiers by any official measure, who had just saved his life and prevented a war. The galaxy called humanity weak. Primitive, short-lived. The galaxy, Vexter realized, was dangerously wrong. "The Draconian Empire is in your debt," he said formally. Eva just smiled, already picking up scattered dishes. "Just doing our job, Ambassador. Welcome to humanity."